Today in class we spoke about relative clauses. It was kind of confusing, this topic, but if you read the exercises and also the information, it's going to be better, okay? And with the practice, this is going to be very easy. So this is in Unit 3, okay? Lesson 5, more relative clauses, okay? And then we made some exercises. Here we have an example. My sister, who is a professor of French, lives in Paris. How interesting, did she get her degree there? Yes, she studied at the Sorbonne, which, as you know, is the best in France. So how are we going to create or to understand the relative clauses? Okay, here we have more further information, okay, about, I'm sorry, about the class. So it says relative clauses, non-restrictive relative clauses, used to provide extra information about the noun which is not needed to define it. We often use them to combine two statements in one sentence. Example: my mother is a doctor. My mother works in Paris. My mother, who is a doctor, works in Paris. Okay? Form: non-restrictive relative clauses are formed in the same way as restrictive relative clauses. Let's see this in a simple way. Okay, we need to identify the relative pronouns. Okay, in this case, we're going to work with who, whose, which, where, when, and also that. Okay, so we need to identify them in the statement. Okay, and those are going to be the relative clauses. Okay, because they are going to define or to describe, okay, the the subject that is before them. Okay, so here we have more information. Okay, for example, we here we have an example. Okay, it says my father, who lives in England, is an artist. So what is the relative clause? Who lives in England? And why who? Because my father is a person. Okay, that's why we need to use who. So who is describing the immediate subject that is before. Okay, another example: the Empire State Building, which is used to be the tallest skyscraper in the world, is in New York. Okay, what are we talking about? The Empire State Building. Is it a person? No. Is it a time? No. Okay, so it's a place. So which used to be the tallest skyscraper? See, el cual. Okay. Then we have another one. I throw away all my history notes, which I regret now. Okay, history notes. Okay, there are no person, there are no a time. So history, o sea, las cuales, o sea, o por lo cual yo me arrepiento ahora. So you need to understand the relative pronouns. One tip that you can follow is that when you're going to add or to write the relative clause, we need a comma before the relative. Okay, this comma separates the subject, the immediate subject, from the relative pronoun. Okay, as you can see, all of that sentence has comma. My father, comma, who, the Empire State Building, comma, which, the history notes, comma, which. Okay, so we can have more information to study this. Okay, we have who, and then we have the use and an example. For example, who. How can we use who? Well, it's a subject or pronoun for people. Okay, and the example is: I told you about the woman who, comma, who lives next door. O sea, te hablé de la mujer, ¿quién vive en la puerta de enseguida, en la puerta de al lado? We have also which. Which, how is the use of which? It's a subject or pronoun for animals and things, okay? Example, do you see the cat, comma, which is lying on the roof? ¿Sí? ¿Ves el gato que está echado, recostado en el sofá? Okay. So, where is the comma? Between the immediate subject and the relative pronoun. Okay. We also have which to, referring to a whole sentence. For example, he couldn't read. He couldn't read, which surprised me. Okay. Also, we have whose, and who is for people, but whose is when you talk about a possession, okay? Possession for people, animals, and things. Example, do you know the boy, comma, whose mother is a nurse? Okay? Between the boy and the principal or the relative pronoun, we have a comma, okay? That can help me to identify where I am going to put the relative pronoun, okay? I mean the relative clause, okay? Then we have whom and that, and also we have when and where. So if we are talking about when, is to refer an expression of time, a time expression, okay? If we're going to talk about where, is to refer a place, okay, etc. So please study this information, okay? And then we have some examples, okay? For example, my sister, who is a professor of French, lives in Paris, okay? How interesting, did she get her degree there? Yes, she studied at the Sorbonne, which, as you know, is the best in France, okay? At the Sorbonne. Sorbonne is a place, okay? So we need to work with which, okay? And before that, my sister is a person, so we need to work with who, okay? Then another one. How can you jog with so much traffic? Okay? On Sunday mornings is the subject immediate to the relative clause. Okay? Like Sunday morning is not a person, we don't need who. It's not a possession, we don't need whose. Okay? It's not a place, so we don't need where or which. We need when because it's time, okay? So on Sunday mornings, when I like to jog, there are very few cars on the streets, okay? Another one, Mom, I'd like you to meet Jack. Jack is a person, okay? Then it says, whose sister is my roommate, o sea, de quien es hermano, de quien su hermana, perdón, de quien su hermana es mi compañera de cuarto, okay? It's nice to meet you, Jack. So you need to identify which relative clause you're going to use after after the subject that you're going to describe, okay? In this case, Jack is the subject, so we need to describe or to define this subject, okay? We have more examples. It says, did you have any problems changing plans? No, Denver Airport. We land, where we land, where we landed, that we land, or which we land. One thing that you can do is to see which of them has a comma, ¿ok? ¿Cuál de ellos tiene una coma antes, ¿sí? Una coma primero en la cláusula relativa, ¿sí? ¿Cuál de ellos? Pues tenemos 3, entonces vamos a descartar las otras 2. Entonces, now we need to select between where we landed, that we land, which we landed. But Denver Airport, it's a place, okay? Not an idea, okay? So in this case is where we landed, okay? On our way to Seattle, okay? Tampoco sería which we landed porque hasta, miren, si ven, ¿sí? Denver Airport, aquí sería la coma. Where we landed On our way to Seattle, hasta ahí acaba la oración y después empieza otra. Son dos oraciones en una. ¿Sí me explico? Tienen que poner mucha atención en las comas. ¿Ok? So, where we landed is the answer. Let's see more examples. It says, where did you learn to speak Spanish so well? My friend Paul, who lived, it's simple present, and we're talking about a past action. Nope. Who lived, that lived, which lived, that lives. That lives, no, because it's in simple present, and this is past. So, o sea, quien vive, quien vivió. So we need who lived, no, because it's simple present, and aparte, Paul es una persona. Entonces, en dado caso sería that lives. Pero para no revolvernos, my friend Paul, después de la coma, ya tiene la coma, entonces, ¿cuál de estos cuatro quedaría? Este no, porque está en presente. Como eso está en pasado y es una persona, sería who lived, ¿sí? Who is for persons. Quien vivió en México City por 10 años me enseñó. Let's see the last one. The Eiffel Tower, okay? That's in Paris, which is in Paris, that's in Paris, which is in Paris, or which is in Paris. The Eiffel Tower, we need a comma, okay? We need a comma, so which of these ones? Well, we can work with this one and this one, okay? Las otras te las vamos a descartar. Entonces, ¿cuál es la respuesta entre este y este? Okay? The Eiffel Tower, which is in Paris, porque es un lugar, ¿sí? Porque está en París, es uno de las más famosas, ¿sí? So, on this lesson, you need to identify, okay, where is the comma. We already made some of these exercises, so please study them, okay?